It's with a heavy heart that I must announce the passing of my dear Caesar, my dove, who I've had for 10 years. I put out a video with her last year, I guess. Now that she's a famous influencer and has touched so many lives, I felt that I had to update all of her fans on the internet. She will live on forever as a avian influencer and a ambassador for doves and pigeons worldwide. I picked her up from a local animal shelter 10 years ago in 2015. And I'm not sure how old she was because she was a rescue. She was found in a tree, and the local animal rescue was called, and they got her out of the tree because she was a very friendly bird and trusting and didn't try to fly away and was happy to just have someone help her out because they saw a white dove in a tree and thought that's probably not a wild bird. And indeed, it was not. I don't really know how she got there. Maybe she was released at a wedding or a magic show. Who knows? But probably released from some event, which is not really a good thing to do to birds, especially domesticated birds, but that's how she ended up in my possession and was happy to have her. I thought I'd put together a little tribute here, give you a slideshow of some of my favorite pictures over the years that I've taken, as well as some contributed by my sister. Caesar was always a very mild-mannered dove, as most doves are. They make very great pets. They're not loud, they don't bite, they're not terribly messy, they're very friendly, and they get used to people very quickly and they bond with people, especially domesticated ones. But one time we raised a wild dove from an egg and it bonded to us humans too. So they're just animals that we've been interacting with for, who knows, thousands of years probably. And they're some of the most friendly birds and some of the most compatible with people and with man-made objects. So they blend into our environments in our cities. They're all around us and they're nice birds. So if you ever want to get a dove or pigeon as a pet, I would strongly consider it. Parrots get the bulk of the attention when it comes to pet birds, but they're loud and they bite and they can be messy and they're not always friendly. They're not always very tame. And so consider doves. They're quiet, they're mild, and they're just as fun. They may not talk, but that's really a nice thing when you don't have a bird screaming at you from the other room 24/7. Caesar already had a little brush with death in 2020 when she developed some kind of cyst, and I thought maybe it was cancer. I don't know what it was, ultimately. I took her to a vet, and they basically told me they can't tell me either. They would have to do surgery and remove it in order to tell me whether or not it was cancerous, and it was going to be very expensive, and they said she might not even survive anesthesia and surgery. So I thought, well, let's just let nature take its course, and if this is cancer and she's going to die, then that's sad, but, we can't prevent death forever. So I had already, to some degree, come to terms with her dying 5 years ago, and she didn't. She was fine, and the cyst persisted, but it never really grew, and it didn't seem to impact her quality of life. She could fly and walk, and, it didn't grow, it didn't leak. Don't really know what it was, if it was a benign tumor or a cyst. I mean, a cyst usually goes away. Maybe it was some kind of benign tumor. Either way, I have no idea. But it didn't seem to cause her any distress, and it didn't kill her. So I guess it wasn't cancer. She lived another 5 years with it. It was scarier when I wasn't sure if this was going to kill her, and I had to sort of come to terms with the fact that she's not going to live forever. Of course not. I'm glad that we had another 5 years with her and she was happy. And while it's sad, I knew the last few months that she was showing some signs of age, and I thought maybe her time was coming. And so it's not a big surprise. Birds don't really show a whole lot of signs of sickness or age. As prey animals, they try to hide that kind of thing. So she seemed fine even the day before. And I put her in her cage at night, and I found her passed away in the morning. And I don't think that she suffered. I hope not. I don't know what caused it, but just old age. I think she didn't show any real signs of sickness or ill health and did not seem to ever be in any pain. And she was still able to fly, though her flying was definitely getting weaker I think there was a bit of muscle loss with age. She could still fly around, but she also stopped talking so much. She used to coo a lot and be kind of noisy, especially if I wasn't in the room with her. She would call to me from around the house. And she hasn't been talking so much the last 4 or 5 months, and hasn't been flying as well. But otherwise seemed to be in good health and good spirits, and her eyes were still clear, and she seemed to be doing okay, but I could tell that she was a little bit more low energy. She was preceded in death by 1 guinea pig and 2 rabbits. The rabbits also lived. At least one of them was 10 years old to the day. She died on her birthday because she was from a breeder, and so we know when she was born. She died exactly when she turned 10 years old. And her little bunny mate passed away maybe 6 months before her, and I don't know how old he was, but we'd had him for probably 6 years or something, and we had a guinea pig that was young when we got him, and they only live about 5 years or so. So Caesar has outlived all of her companions, and she was alone. She was the only pet left in the house at this point, so it's a little sad to be alone. She liked playing with the rabbits. She liked watching them, and so I hope she wasn't too lonely. I did, of course, play with her and take her out every day and let her fly around and spend time with her so she wasn't too lonely, but it was nice for her to have some other animals around, some companions, so that things were a little more lively. But the rabbits, I think, the last rabbit passed away a year, or probably over a year ago. So she's been alone for a little while. I mean, alone from other animals. But, I can't really tell you if it affected her mood because she's a bird and you can only tell so much. She didn't seem sad, but birds don't necessarily show emotions like people. So who knows? I don't know if I'll get another pet bird anytime soon. My next bird will probably be a chicken, a bunch of chickens outside and lay some eggs. That's the plan. I'll be moving in a couple months and got a new place, and we'll have a little yard space for some chickens, and that'll be fun. It'll be nice. But, chickens are not pets in the same way, and they'll be egg layers, and we'll eat them. Maybe one day I'll get another dove. Who knows? We'll see. But it was really nice having her, and I definitely recommend getting a dove if you're looking for a pet bird. Consider it. They make for really great pets. I hope her legacy can live on online in some way. And God damn it. Really not trying to cry on camera here. I'm lucky to have had her in my life. Goodbye, Caesar.